Before beginning this video, if you speak a second language or more and would like to be interviewed and talk about your experience, please feel free to DM me on Instagram at Koji Languages or visit kojilanguages.com. And as always, if you enjoy these videos, leave a like, comment, and subscribe for more.
Hanikwe, impian, Rony, hatun aing, tete konop rap tian, tete in school, konop San Miguel tila, y tete 19 años ina, katu ya alto, ya lisentu ina, un idioma ti shinchibia tohan, katu ishinchi kayana, shikana español, katu keosunen kuyon niste españolan. Y que alto katu hong kuti ti de Akateko ti ha habl sin kanapan y ya alto sin kuyon españolan y agalchan.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Awesome. So, Ronnie, you grew up speaking Akateko, correct, in Guatemala.
yeah.
And what was it like? Because I presume you had to learn Spanish in school, or you were just exposed to it, right?
Yeah, kinda. Like I grew up speaking Akateko with my friends. There, like no one speak Spanish really. My grandma is from the capital of Guatemala, so that's why I speak like Spanish. So if my grandma wouldn't be from the capital, I wouldn't speak Spanish, to be honest. So yeah.
And so did you learn Spanish in your school, or did you actually speak Akateko in school?
We speak Akateko in our school. Well, the teachers are trying like to bring the Spanish to the schools and all of that stuff. They actually like don't teach in Akateko. They teach in Spanish, but yeah, it's kind of weird. Like in the school, like when I was a kid, I used to speak Akateko with the kids. They should do now. It's like part of our culture, but they're trying to bring Spanish over Akateko.
So they're trying to bring Spanish towards your schools. Is what you're
Yeah,
saying.
exactly.
So, but in your case, in your school specifically, you spoke Akateko.
Mm-hmm.
Got it. And then then that kind of leads me to my next question: is then how did you learn English?
Oh, because I came here to the United States and I basically start learning English here. I came here in 2017 by the end of the year, yeah, and then from there to now I speak this English that I'm speaking right now.
And I guess maybe not what made you learn English or Spanish, maybe, but do you remember how you what did you do to study the language? Were you taught English in school, or did you go to take a class? Did you study it on your own, or did you come into the U.S. knowing any English?
All right, so I came here without like any idea of English. I came here like with an empty mind. So I actually lived in Mississippi, the north part by Corinth. Corinth, Mississippi is the like the city. Corinth, yeah, it's Corinth. And then I went to a white school. They were like white folks and all of that stuff. And then I make some white friends. They basically helped me to learn English and all of that stuff. And then if I say something wrong, they will correct me.
So you started school not knowing pretty much any English, right?
Yeah.
Got it.
That's right.
Got it. How quickly do you think you were able to start communicating? Because I know when you first start, it's like overwhelming. Everyone's saying things so fast, and you have no idea what's going on. But at what point, or how long did it take for you to start feeling like, hey, I can talk to people now?
Okay, I start feeling this like 6 or 7 months. Like at first, when I was like, I understand some of those words. I know what they mean, but like I don't understand the conversation. You know what I mean? Like I understand one of two words what they saying, but I'm not really into it. But then I start like practicing my English at home with my friends and all of that stuff. And then yeah, as I said, like 7 or 6 months, I start like understanding their conversation and what they're talking about.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, that's awesome. And was it different when you learned English versus when you learned Spanish?
Yeah, Spanish was easily for me because my grandma used to speak me in Spanish.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and when so I was a kid. It's like an empty mind. It's an
Yeah,
empty paper.
yeah.
We are writing. Sorry about this. I can't pronounce this word. Writing, r- reading
Reading,
out. Yeah,
reading and
like
writing.
yeah. I
Yeah.
don't know how to pronounce those words. They hard for me. They very hard.
English is a difficult language. Yeah,
Yes.
pronunciation is very difficult in English. So I don't
Yeah.
blame you.
All right, thank you. So yeah, for me to like yeah learn Spanish was easily because my grandma used to speak me in Spanish.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, in English it was hard because I was like what 16 years old. So it was kind of hard for me to learn.
Hmm.
But nothing is impossible.
Yeah. Nah. Well said. So when did you? Okay. So when did you learn Spanish? Like, how old were you when you started to learn Spanish?
I'm not sure, but
Were you
I
like a
was
were you
like
like a kid, like a baby, or?
no, I didn't learn Spanish when I was a baby. I think I started learning it when I was 10 years old or 11.
Mm-hmm. So you're about 10 or 11. Okay. And so you just learned it pretty much through your grandmother. You didn't have anyone else really teach you Spanish, or no one else
Uh,
really, like, you weren't exposed to Spanish otherwise.
no, I
Hmm.
actually didn't speak Spanish with anyone
So
besides my grandma.
so it's all in Akateko. It's just every day to day life.
Yeah, every day. It's like here in the United States, you go like outside or like a family here, they speak English in their homes,
Mm-hmm.
and it's the same with me. I spoke Akateko with pretty much everybody.
Yeah, that's crazy. Because for me, at least, for me, and I think a lot of other people that might be watching, it's like it's a very rare language, and it's um, because not many people speak it, and not only that, but there's also not many resources for it that are in English. I know that there are some resources to learn Akateko in Spanish, but not so much in English. It's a not there's not many people that can really learn it, so it's like for us to imagine that someone grows up in their community, you know, pretty much only speaking Akateko, it's pretty fascinating because my impression, at least, of places that spoke Akateko were that you pretty much you speak the language at home, but day to day life is in Spanish. But you're from what you're telling me, that's not the case.
Yeah, that's not the case. I actually, as a kid, spoke Akateko my whole life. My friends speak Akateko. Some of them they don't have any idea about Spanish.
Wow.
You talk to them in Spanish, they won't understand.
Hmm.
So yeah.
Now, what was it like in your city or in your region where you grew up? Maybe you can kind of shed some light as to like what life was like there and how maybe it's kind of different from how it is in the United States. You said you're in California.
Yeah, it's actually very different. It's not like a
Mm-hmm.
city. It's like a ranch. It's a small town
Mm-hmm.
where there's like no more than 200 houses. There's one school and one store. It's like a small place. We play like the Native Americans. I don't know if you ever watched those videos where they play like sports outside.
Mm-hmm.
They play in the dirt. We played like that.
You played like soccer.
Yeah, we played soccer
Mm-hmm.
and all of that stuff. Like we actually have like some respect about our culture.
Mm-hmm.
So we actually yeah play sports like that. We play outside with our friends and it was very cool.
Mm-hmm. Now, were you exposed to like Akateko? It's like just that, or were there other? I know that there's like other cousins to Akateko, like Kanhobal, I believe, and like other tongues. I don't think you probably wouldn't have been exposed to it, but did you ever run into other people that spoke like other languages like that?
Yeah. I like actually right now here in the United States, I have a neighbor that speaks Kanhobal.
Wow.
I hear him speak Kanhobal, and it's like for me, it's a different language. Not really that different, but there are similar words,
Hmm.
but it's different.
Yeah, no, I bet. And were there people like that in your town, or was it is it just Akateko?
No, it's just Akateko. If you were to like hear someone talk like that, you will have to travel like 1 hour maybe.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then after that, there is another like city or town where they speak another language, and pretty much every Guatemalan place is like that. They
Mm-hmm.
speak different languages.
Mm-hmm. Now, actually, that's kind of interesting that you said that. So, in throughout Guatemala, you're saying that people speak, their own dialect or their own native tongue. There's a
Mm.
lot of people that just speak that and going on in throughout Guatemala.
What do you mean?
Okay,
Like,
so yeah, let me reword it better. I know that, for instance, like Spanish is the national language of Guatemala, so people. I know a lot of people obviously speak Spanish there, but I also know that there's a lot of um, indigenous groups of people, people that for instance, like yourself, speaking Akateko at home,
mhm.
and people who speak Canjobal, and there are a lot of those, I guess, groups of people that speak, or indigenous groups of people that still conduct or do everything in their day-to-day life in their mother tongue or in the tongue of you know their family.
Yeah, they actually like, as I say, each place have their own tongue, and like they actually they're like in their zone, like they speak their language in their zone, and each zone have different language, but they all kind of connected because some words are similar.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
And what about in terms of like the culture of your background? And is there anything that's interesting about um, your own maybe background, like from back home, back at your town, that maybe not a lot of people know about, or what do you think maybe is unique about it?
um I don't think there's anything specific unique, because I say like people are trying to modernize, they trying to change. Like they don't dress as our ancestors, they dress like modern people.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not sure if I can say there's something special about it.
Well, maybe that's what the
Besides
special
like
thing
the
is.
language.
Is like when you're, if, for instance, if I'm gonna change, you know, who I am to maybe someone else, or follow someone else's culture or someone else's, almost like assimilate, then there is something that's different about me from that group. So maybe what would be different from, your background versus different from, I guess what you would call the modern society. I know you just mentioned kind of clothing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it's just the clothing. They're changing like over the time.
Uh huh.
Yeah, they are modernizing things. They're not the same as they used to be.
Mm-hmm.
So
And now, kind of touching on maybe on a more personal level, how do you think that? Because in your case, the people that I've interviewed, for instance, are for the most part bilingual, so they speak two languages. But in your case, you're pretty much trilingual, and you speak three languages pretty well. I mean, I can't judge your Spanish or your Akateko because those aren't my first languages. But from your English, it sounds very, very proficient. So, how do you think being trilingual has affected your life, or how do you think it's impacted you as a person?
it actually haven't like giving me problems, if I can say that word. It has helped me a lot because I have like my dad. He speaks Akateko with me, and
Mm-hmm.
I speak Spanish with my mom at home, like right now.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, and I speak English with my sister. So it has helped me a lot. Besides, like yeah, I can talk to my sister with not problem right now. I can talk to her in English, and then I can talk to my dad in Akateko and my mom in Spanish.
Mm.
So it hasn't bring me any problems really.
So you're able to communicate with everyone basically.
Yeah,
Do,
kind.
do you feel like more connected to people in general because now you have three languages that you can speak?
Yeah, heck yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember when I didn't speak English, I can like communicate to them, trying like to guess words,
Mm-hmm.
trying to ask them how they doing or what they gonna do or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So yeah, but basically now I feel like I'm different, talking like I think different or I speak like more confident. I feel confident with
Mm-hmm.
myself. I
Yeah,
know
that's
my
awesome.
English is not like the best one, but at least I'm trying my best.
Yeah, and again, like, I mean, people that might be watching this might say differently, but personally, I think, I'm understanding what you're saying. You're getting your points across. There are people in the United States, by the way, that their English, if you don't understand them, don't worry. A lot of people probably won't understand them. There's some people that talk crazy throughout the U.S. Like,
Yeah, I
they're
have met a lot of people like that.
yeah, you'll.
I don't get any words from them, and then I say okay or yes. But I don't wanna tell them that I didn't understand because I'll make them feel bad. So I just like
Yeah, no, I mean, I've
them.
grown up in New York and pretty much my whole life, and there's some people I'll meet on the street. I have no idea what they're saying, and I'm like, dude, I did not know. I did not comprehend that. So you're not alone. If you feel like you don't understand, believe me, some of them, a lot of Americans will not understand other Americans. Putting it lightly.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
But now, I guess to kind of sum it up, if someone were to, let's say, want to learn Akateko for whatever reason, is there any advice that you could give them or any insight about the language that maybe you could help them or point them in the right direction?
Um, I'm not sure because Akateko it's a very hard tongue to learn.
Hmm.
There are words that people can't say. Like you want me to say like one word that you might don't know how to say, or like right now I can say "tsikin," that means beard, but I'm not sure if you can say like that word that I just said, like "tsikin."
I have no idea.
Yeah, like that's very hard from people that don't know about the tongue.
Yeah.
It's really hard for them to learn if they trying to go for hard work.
The phonology or the way that the sound of the language is
Yeah.
difficult. Yeah. Okay. Um, yeah, I'd imagine it's a very difficult. I mean, because it's so alien to us. Us meaning us, like English speakers, English natives, and stuff like that. So it's a very different phonology or set system of sounds.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I guess that would maybe you'd say that would be, I guess, if someone wanted to learn Akateko, they would have to spend a lot of time on that.
Yeah, and as I said, every word like has a lot of things that are hard to learn. It's
Mm-hmm.
like to say hi, you have to say hanik.
Hanik.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
exactly. You can say it. You can
Mm-hmm.
say it.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, and then there's like that sound hanik.
Yeah.
So it's like very hard for them to learn if they're not like familiar with
With
anything, like really.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, I mean, at least that kind of points some people in the direction. At least they know what they're getting themselves into. That it's the sounds are going to be difficult. Yeah. I'm really glad that you were able to provide some insight on the language. I made a video on Akateko. And I never really said it, but that's because or I never said why, but that's because just um, likely. I mean, it kind of hits home for me at least a little bit, and actually be able to speak to you and kind of get to know a little bit about yourself and the languages that you spoke, and is really great. So I'm really glad that you were able to come out here, Ronnie. And I know I hit you up today, so last minute notice. Thank you so much.
Yeah, and then like thanks to you to like kind of asking me these questions. I am really glad that someone came to me and then try to learn about my culture. Even though I don't know a lot about my culture, but I let them know what I know.
That's a good spirit to have. So for everyone else watching, thank you all for watching this interview, and I'll see you in another video. Take care. Bye.